We have over 200 varieties of flowering plants and shrubs here. There are flowers such as the portulaca, which blooms at 10 o'clock in the morning. Then we have mirabilis that blooms at 4 p.m. So whenever you come, there's always something new to see. Here in front of Block 134 Marsiling Road, we have the largest community garden in Singapore. It took many hours in the sun and rain to grow this garden. I'm Ganesh here. I'm the founder and chairman of the Woodlands Botanical Garden. So a few years back when my mom passed on suddenly, it was a very difficult time for me and my family, and I went into severe depression. So during that time, I needed an outlet for what I was going through, and one thing that always brought me peace and joy since I was a kid was gardening. So I started planting my first few plants. Flowering plants need lots of sun to thrive, and you can't get that in a HDB corridor. That was why I didn't plant them at home. This hill was the best option available, as many HDB blocks are facing it. The first plant that I planted was actually a pink hibiscus. It reminds me of my mom and how much love my mom used to have for all of us and for everyone around her. I spent about $200 to kickstart the garden with some knee-level plants. And so, as the planting went on and on, I tried to find more unique varieties of flowers, like the golden tacoma, then the melastroma. We try to incorporate wildflowers into our garden. They're not traditionally seen elsewhere. So at the start, we had about 50 to 20 plants to more than 1,000 over plants you see here today. So when the residents saw me and my dad gardening, they came down from the block to talk to us and encourage us. Sometimes they would even pass me a bit of cash. About 6 months into our planting, my dad and I started to have volunteers joining us, and the community started to grow even bigger. Of course, there'll be one or two people who say that, how come you can plant, we cannot plant? So I told them, if NParks had asked me to remove my plants at that time, I would have had to oblige and remove the plants. NParks actually came to find me, and they were saying that I probably have to remove my plants. So I told them, if you think I should remove, fine, but can you have a look at the butterflies and bees here, and do you really think that it's worth me removing these plants? And at that point, there were so many butterflies swarming around our plants. It was such a pretty sight. And he told me, okay, why not you submit a proposal to us so that we can make this official. Okay, so this is the proposal we had submitted to NParks. So we have had a very clear layout on where our planting is going to be. So this was the response from NParks. So NParks was extremely happy with our proposal, and they told us we can go ahead and make our garden. So that was a happy day for us.
So NParks came in to give him the advice on site selection, the garden design, and the plant palettes.
So with this support from NParks now, we actually could grow even further and we could do much more things. They helped me write in to my MP, who then helped us to install the water pipe for us.
In the beginning, when we started watering the plants, we didn't have water supply. So what we did is we got some jerry can filled up, bring over to here. Then some residents around here were used to see me water. They used to help us to carry. They would carry to the top and leave it at the staircase. That's how I used to water. Now it's much more easier because we have the water pipe installed.
When NParks first approached me, the garden was only about 10 to 15 meters long. But now you can see it has grown to about 2,500 meters square. So when someone wants to bring a plant to plant into our garden, it's not so simple as just taking the plant and putting it into our garden. We still have to ask the relevant authorities for permission, and we must make sure that the plants are suitable for what we are trying to achieve. We actually have 3 groups of volunteers. So one group is actually the group that does purely gardening. We have another group that does infrastructure, like the building our trellises, our aviary. And we have another group that does the decor and festivals. For example, Christmas lighting.
when I first moved into this neighborhood, the hill was just dotted with lots of rocks. Right now, it's like a mini Shangri-La to me.
NParks has just given us more permission to expand our garden even further. To include a butterfly garden, that we could work with more communities and make this an even more beautiful place. When this plant was first planted, I always thought maybe, the most I would get a small little patch, but I never dreamt that the garden would grow to this extent. My mom always loved flowers. Although I started off this garden with my mom in mind, many people have joined me along the way and together with me to remember their loved ones as well. So in a way, this garden is not just a memorial to me and my mom, but actually a memorial to many people. I'm sure she'll be very proud of not just me, but everyone who has worked so hard in this garden with me.